I've been fiddling around with different engines, two engines, but I finally settled on using Bevy. This is the most traction I've gotten with a game, so I'm happy about it. Anyway, so this game I'm working on is a 3D game. It's my first time doing 3D. I say that as if I've done anything. So the idea for the game is basically Slender. I'm starting with that as a basis. I ultimately don't know what the game is going to look like when it's playable, because right now it's totally just me figuring out a lot of the systems. So this week has really been the first week I've really been diving into this, and I've done a few things. I wanted to write my own player controller. I wanted to do everything from scratch. And I started this project from a tutorial that I will show somewhere. Just puts you in a world with a third-person camera, which is a crate that's written by the guy who did the tutorial. Really great crate, really great tutorial. But once I was done, I was like, okay, I don't really know how this camera works. I also want a first-person perspective. Originally, I just tried to clone his crate, and then I edited his camera so that it was a first-person camera. It took a little while, but I figured it out. But then eventually I ran into the issue of there were all these things about implementing something as simple as a jump that it's a rabbit hole, honestly. And I kind of got really sidetracked with it, but eventually landed on, I'm trying to build my first game. I don't need to write a player controller from scratch. If I was doing this in Godot, I would just be using their default player controller. Maybe that's soy of me, but ultimately I want to make a game. I don't want to make a really nice player controller. So I eventually found this really, really nice first-person controller. The repo says that it's inspired by the Source controller, Counter-Strike, TF2, stuff like that. Now I'm really dialing in on terrain generation. And this is another instance where I might end up giving up and going with a third-party pre-written solution, but I really, really am interested by terrain generation, and if I knew how my algorithm worked inside and out, it would make me a lot more capable of really implementing it in a way that would tailor, down the line, would really tailor to the strengths of whatever this game is going to end up being. What I'm really struggling with now is performance, for one, because when I create my collider for my terrain, the triangles that are being created to create these meshes are way, way too small. It's too much detail, and it's creating performance problems. So I just got to figure out a way to simplify my geometry. I don't want to go into too much about my ideas for the gameplay or any of that, because I honestly just don't know where it's gonna go. I do have a lot of ideas cooking, but I don't know. That's it. Goodbye.